the Hawthorn Hawks, because apparently there are 9 teams before you get to H in the AFL. Learn something every day. Hawthorn last year, 7-16. We do have local Hawks nuff. Social guy Leo sitting over in the corner.
For this part, yeah.
But we put him in the corner specifically so he couldn't talk about Hawthorn on this here program.
He's happy about
so
it. Yeah.
he talked about them enough on the first episode. But 7-16. The over-under this year, though, is 8.5. That's a lot of improvement for a team that
Only a couple of wins.
was very inconsistent last year, but
At the start of the year, people
showed
thought they
so
wouldn't
much.
win a game.
True.
When they lost their first 3 games, like 100 points.
That's true.
7-16. The over-under is 8.5. They are already dealing with an absolute raft of injuries, however. I worry about the Hawks with a bit of a backslide because every time you talk up a team, even though, as you said, right, expectations last year weren't very high.
They did pretty
They
well.
are now sky high.
Yeah,
like,
they are. Yeah,
lids are off.
Yeah,
But
towards the end of
injuries,
last year,
the injuries put a bit of a thing on that, and we
Yep.
saw them like absolutely excel down the stretch last year. That's why they became the hypey team. Everyone's like, oh, you better watch AFL Hawthorn next year. Finals? Question mark.
Well, because
And you're like,
they
"All
knocked
right."
off Collingwood and Brisbane at the MCG, everyone's like, oh, they're the team to watch next year. Now it's like, okay, let's be real. They've had a bunch of injuries in the preseason. They will regress slightly. Not a lot, but they will go backwards a little bit.
I don't think they'll go backwards. I do think they'll go under. I guess I get my paddle up there. I still think they'll go under the 8.5, but I think it could be 7 or 8 wins. So it would be similar to last year.
Yeah, but because everyone's expecting progression, not progression, is actual regression in itself.
The only thing is, I think a lot of sites have them as the toughest fixture. I think you were talking about that yesterday, Jim. So
How does that work?
I know that's a bit. I think it's to do with maybe they list.
What do you
and things
mean?
like that,
How does
but
that work?
It's a bit weird.
It's
how
literally
they
called a strength of schedule. It's
Yeah,
based
but I
on-
mean, how do Hawthorn have the toughest schedule?
Yeah, it seems pretty unlucky.
So a lot of it is to do with like obviously where they're playing and who they're playing.
And their
clearly.
double ups being Collingwood, GWS, Adelaide.
Exactly.
Geelong.
They have
they have tough
really
double ups,
brutal,
actually. Yeah.
brutal twofers. So
No 5-day breaks at least.
this is the second youngest team in the AFL though. So like the upside is very clear. They have a really talented, bizarre, strange, fun list.
Yeah, they do.
And Mitch Lewis.
I love it. It's awesome. Love the Hawks. I still, however, think they go under because I just think with that really, really tough list, the tough draw, like I just think it's going to be really, really hard for them to get past some of these, bigger teams. They're not going to take anyone by surprise.
No.
They'll
I think-
do a few upsets, I think.
They've got
like
some
last
Tassie
year.
games, and we know that Jaymz Sicily loves it down there.
Yeah.
Pause. But I just worry about how this is going to go. I'm going to tread carefully, I think, with Hawthorn this year.
Under. I've got them winning between 5 and 7 games. The injuries at the moment are just super concerning.
And keep Jack Ginnivan off IG. Just saying.
Yeah. If he stays on the park,
But let him go to the races. That's fine.
Yes, agreed.
Check out Hold All tickets.
Definitely.
That's
I
great.
already said under. I
said under?
said under just because of the tough fixture and injuries. I don't think the injury. I think everyone's getting a bit too caught up with the injuries. I don't think they're that bad. You got Dylan Moore, who's obviously a start, and Jath. But then the other guys aren't massive start. Their backline was already going to be pretty average anyway.
It's also, though, for them to win 9 games, I think the hype at the end of the last season was vaguely warranted because they did show sparks.
Yeah.
But I just really think it's going to be a big ask this year to win 9 games. So
Yes,
under,
similar
I mean,
to-
even if they win 8, that's still like thumbs up vibes, I think, from Hawthorn this year.
Yeah, probably.
But to go 9, it just feels a bit too much. So there you go. Hawks, unders.